The national champion is clad in big orange.
National champion is clad in big orange.
From 40, on the way, a knuckleball. He got it.
He will fire.
Since 2007, Tennessee has defeated
1-0. In the air, left center field. Ross on the move, won't get there. Tennessee walks it off.
Deep drive, back it goes, and the wall Davis leaps and cannot get it, and Tennessee walks it off.
It's so bad. I realize that I'm wearing the same shirt. That you took
Hey, I am too. I am too, man.
That's crazy, bro. I was sitting here laughing. I was like, no way I did that. Like, but no, welcome in. Sorry. We're loose tonight on this episode of the Vol Fanatics Show. We're live, so that means it is 8:30 Eastern on a Tuesday night. And, man, we got a lot to talk about. But I'm your boy, Skylar, co-host of the show. Michael, how are we doing tonight?
I can't complain too much, man. Another day on this Thursday, another day that we get to talk about Tennessee sports, Tennessee football in particular. It was actually a very nice sunny day today. We didn't have any rain. I know areas around us did, but, cannot complain at all. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, we got rain. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it. East Tennessee, Knoxville area has been kind of flooding, which is fine. We've been through like a severe drought in the spring, so it's kind of nice to get it all back at once. That's just exactly what we asked for. So no, it's been great. Rhonda's already in the chat, says hello, Fanatics. A good day to talk some Vols, and boy, are we going to, especially in the first segment. But I'm not going to give anything away because I want you to give us a rundown here in a second. But no, overall, man, work life's busy. The wife's back from Texas, thank goodness, because honestly, I was tired of going to bed alone. Didn't think I'd get that way. I thought I was always a good, strong, independent man. But, sometimes it's just nice. It's just nice to have, her here with me. So, yeah, life is good. So, Michael, before we do the rundown, is it cool if I go ahead and give us our presenting show sponsor?
Man, go ahead and give us our show sponsor.
Yeah, I'm going to get there. I asked for permission, didn't have it pulled up, but it's already P&L Business Services. Firsthand that getting your monthly reporting, invoicing, bill pay, taxes, and other essential business services right is critical. That's why at P&L Business Services, we go beyond bookkeeping by providing you with everything you need in your back office so you can have your time back and the peace of mind to do what you love most, which is building your business. Behind every successful business is a great bookkeeper. Guys, side note, we're already in the month of July, which means for businesses, we're already in the second half or the third quarter of the business year. But you probably need to get ahead of your books. So if you're already like, man, I haven't even looked at that. Like I turned in my taxes like last month. We filed for extension. Like, okay, but you need to go ahead and get ahead of the taxes for next year. So do yourself a favor. Go to pnlbusinessservices.com. Allow the fine folks out of Oak Ridge, Tennessee to take care of your books. We appreciate them so much. Michael, give us the Smexy rundown.
Yeah, so before I give that rundown, if you do hear some noise in the background, my son is up. I was telling Skylar beforehand, we're doing later bedtime now, so you might see him pop in and out every once in a while here on the stream. And, everybody's going to be tuning in for that anyway. Nobody wants to see us.
Duh.
They just want to see him type of deal.
I mean,
but,
me included. I don't want to really talk to you. I want to talk to him, But
exactly. It's probably a more intelligent conversation. So
before we get into the rundown, Tennessee Football 247 says it's almost media days, and we got the news, and I kind of want to go ahead and spoil it. We did a segment last week on who we thought was going to go to the media days.
I hadn't even seen the list, so who is it?
It is, drumroll please, Deshaun Bishop. Shocker. I know. We got that.
We both got that.
We got that. Yeah. But believe it or not, you actually got a second one right, and I never would have thought he would have went because of everything that happened in the last year. Arion Carter.
Wow, really?
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure he went last year.
He did go last year.
So I am shocked. And this is per, it was somebody on 99.1, the Sports Animal. He posted on Facebook. It was either him or a news station. But, it's a legitimate article that I read that it's him, Arion Carter, and another big surprise because if Arion Carter is going, I would have never thought that Jeremiah Thielander is going.
Wow.
So 2 linebackers and Deshaun Bishop, allegedly, from the report that I'm seeing, it's those 3 going to media days. Never in my life would I have thought Arion Carter would have gone. 1, he went last year, and 2, I mean, the dude, like, for a small portion of the offseason wasn't even on the team. He opted out of the bowl game. You know, he was going elsewhere.
But he obviously is the leader of that room, the captain. So, I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like kind of surprising that he would go, 2 days in a row or 2 years.
The drum roll that I got from today.
Yeah.
Yes, dude. But yeah, so Deshaun Bishop, we nailed, and then Arion Carter and Thielander, I never would have thought those 2 guys, honestly. I really wouldn't have. So it's kind of cool. That's why we did the segment. Thought it'd be fun. But yeah, man, I'm stoked. Let's go. Let's go talk ball. I think that's 3 really good representatives.
I agree. 3 great guys that are good at talking to the media as well.
And they're all Vols. Like, let's be honest here. If you're on the team, you're all Vol. I get that. But these are guys that came here out of high school, have been here from the beginning. Never even thought about well, I guess Arion Carter kind of did, but I think that was more for pro.
Yes.
So, yeah, I like that we're taking 3 guys, tried and true, and I think they're great representatives of the university.
100%, man.
No, we knew it was going to be all the quarterbacks, Rhonda. Come on.
It was going to be Faison Brandon.
It was
going to be George McIntyre, and it's going to be Ryan Staub. That's exactly who's going to be.
It was going to be all the quarterbacks. Come on.
Yes.
That's what we were hoping. But no. All right. Now that that's out of the way, that's the breaking news. Michael, please give us the rundown tonight.
All right, so tonight's rundown, we are going to start doing some position previews, starting slightly earlier than we normally do, but that's because we do have SEC Media Days coming up, so we will have that to talk about in the middle of this, along with we're doing 2 more schedule predictions tonight. So tonight, offensive line preview in segment 1. Segment 2, we're going to talk about South Carolina, and then in segment 3, we're going to talk about Florida. We're going to give predictions for that. Some team that's down south. We don't play them this year.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
I think you do too, but we'll find out once.
Is it Miami Sun? Or
yeah, Miami Sun. Believe it or not, still Florida State's daddy. But
yeah, no, that's a long story. We don't need to.
No, but before we get into all of that, I do want to give out our segment 1 sponsor, and that is Optimal Asbestos Services. Optimal Asbestos Services offers detailed asbestos inspections and air quality assessments. Whether you're looking to secure your home or workplace, you can trust Optimal Asbestos Services to deliver thorough and reliable solutions. Contact Jeff Mull at 865-223-3297 for your consultation today, or go on the web at optimalasbestosservices.com. Offensive line, Skylar. Tennessee this year has the most returning snaps from any SEC team. 76% of the offensive snaps from last season are returning for this year's team. I believe the next closest was Georgia with like 64%. If I'm not mistaken on that. I saw the stat earlier this week, but it was Tennessee far and away had the most experience coming back on the offensive line.
You want to know what gives me a little bit of peace of mind about this position group?
What's that?
I genuinely believe preseason ranking, this might be the best offensive line in the SEC.
I don't disagree with you.
Preseason ranking. Now, obviously, that is entailing kind of like a metric of what you just brought up. Returning snaps, starters, experience. This offensive line has plenty of it. But now we've splashed in the big-time talent, too. This is David Sanders' second year. And we got, who else do we got? That's Sam Piddleton.
Wendell
Moe, yes, absolutely. Jesse Perry, a guy that, I don't know, like, we've got some dudes on the offensive line. I think we even picked up an LSU that was a 5-star. I think he was 5-star. Oriah Williams? I want to say that was another 5-star transfer. Yes. Now, obviously, the transfer ranking probably wasn't a 5-star, but I think he out of high school was. So, I mean, this offensive line, man, I'd love to kind of take a deeper dive into it, but, like, what excites you most about this group going into this year?
I mean, just the fact that, even though all these questions around the quarterback exist, and, I mean, it's warranted because we don't know what we're going to get from the quarterback position this year. I personally believe it's going to be good because Heupel's gotten the best out of every single quarterback that has stepped foot on the field so far. But what excites me the most is the fact that there is this experience. So I think that whoever is at quarterback, they're going to have the good line in front of them to protect them. They're also going to open up holes for the running game. And really, because you're returning every single player except for
Lance
Hurd. Yep. But even then, he only played half the snaps last year because David Sanders got to play the other half of it.
Well, Lance Hurd was also hurt a lot.
He was hurt a lot. But what excites me the most is the continuity that is returning. These guys played together all of last year, and now they're getting to come back and play again for a second season in a row. That's huge. You don't see that very often, really at any level of football, but especially in the SEC. You don't see that a lot. So that's got me super excited for this year. And, Wendell Moe was named to, was it Walter Camp's preseason second team All-American?
Yeah.
He was named to that list. He was named to that list, and I could argue that our center, Sam Pendleton, should probably be on that list as well. If not second team, a third team, somewhere right in there. Those two guys side by side on the line.
Wendell Moe is already projected top half of the draft coming up. It's crazy. So, I think one thing that excites me, Michael, about this position group is, we do this every year, and sometimes we're asking ourselves we're guessing on the fourth or the fifth starter on the offensive line. Mm-hmm. We have no idea. And then when it comes to just naming backups, it's like, oh boy, we know nobody, right? But this year is different. This year, I'm looking at some of the guys that are projected to be second string, and I know for a fact they started for us and played so many snaps for us last year. Think about Sham Umarov. A dude was basically an every game starter last year, and he is projected to be a backup this year. I'm thinking Jeremiah's Hurd. He had a lot of experience and playing time last year, and he is a projected backup. And then two more that I know got meaningful playing time is Gabriel Osenda and Nick Moore. Both of those guys played a ton of downs last year.
Well, Gabriel Osenda is actually a true freshman. He did not.
Oh, I'm sorry. My notes are wrong. I'm sorry. Nick Moore, though. Gage Ginther? Who was the other one?
The other one...
It's not Powell. It's not Ogamoro. I must have messed up, man. I thought I had that right. But you're right. Gabriel Senda is a true freshman. But either way, three dudes right there that are projected second string that I know played a ton of snaps last year, and they're familiar names. If they were to go out there and play, I would have thought that they had just won the starting job. Yeah, I think they're capable. So this year, going in the offensive line, I am afraid, like any position, if there is an injury, I am so much more confident and prepared that the guy that's stepping up behind them is going to be capable.
100%.
Not a ton of positions you can say about that in this day of age in college football.
Yeah, 100%. Just going down the line, we'll start right in the middle. Sam Pendleton, transfer from Notre Dame 2 seasons ago. He's back manning that center position, and he was key for us last year. We had the big question mark, who's going to be the center coming into the season? Is it going to be Satterwhite? Is it going to be Pendleton? Is it going to be insert name here? We didn't know. And last season, he took that job and he ran with it, didn't give it up the entire season. He stayed healthy as well. Huge having him back. At guard, whether it be left guard, right guard, it's obviously going to be Wendell Moe. As we already mentioned, Walter Camp, second team All-American to start the season. The transfer from Arizona, he was huge for Tennessee last year. And cannot wait to see what he does this year. It's super, super exciting to me to see just a talented offensive lineman like that get the love that he deserves in the preseason and to see what he can build upon going into the season. So Wendell Moe going to be at one of those guard positions. Jesse Perry likely to be at the other guard on the interior there. And Jesse Perry, that's a hometown kid there. Came from Middle Tennessee Christian. He was hurt a couple of times last year, but still, I believe, played in all but maybe 1 or 2 games.
Dude, he stepped up. He was Mr. Consistent.
He did.
He did. Without a doubt.
And at one point in the season last year, he was graded Tennessee's best overall offensive lineman.
He was the most dependable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was Gage Ginther, by the way. I completely misread, so that's on me. But no, thank you for that catch there. But yeah, keep on going with who you think projecting. I mean, we know who I think the starters are, other than maybe one position, but we have a good idea.
Yeah, David Sanders is going to be a starter at tackle this
left
season.
or right?
I'm going to say he's going to be
what?
Yeah, he's going to be left tackle this year.
I think so.
I
think he's going to slide over.
Yeah, because he played right tackle last year that just. I mean, he played well, but that wasn't his normal position.
Well, he couldn't be on the blind side for the quarterback because, I mean, clearly, true freshman, he was still learning the game, and he did make some mistakes. But the talent's there, the experience there now. I think he is going to bump over to the left side. Yeah, who's going to take that right tackle, though?
Right tackle, that's going to be the big question mark. I think, obviously, Arai Williams is going to be a big name there, the transfer from LSU. But don't count out Gabriel Osenda. I do think he's a little bit more of an interior guy, but he could get that spot as well. But I'm kind of thinking Arai Williams is going to get that spot. You might end up seeing a guy like Nick Moore take that spot too. It's going to be a battle for who's going to get that left tackle spot.
Jesse Perry?
If it was me, I think Jesse Perry is going to be guard.
You do think he's going to be guard? Okay.
I think he's going to be guard. That's where he played most of last year. He could slide over and take that tackle spot. And if that's the case, I think you're opening the door a little bit more for Gabriel Osenda to get that right guard spot. But I do think your starters this year are going to be David Sanders, Wendell Moe, Sam Pendleton, Arai Williams, and Jesse Perry. But
I think that's the cool thing about Jesse Perry. I think you're right on that one because he played guard and he played tackle last year. But that's what I love about.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You talked about how dependable he is, how consistent he was. What about his versatility, being able to play multiple positions?
If somebody does go down and he's able to just slide over and fill in that spot to allow somebody that's more comfortable at that guard spot or whoever, like that is something that, I mean, even if he's not the most talented guy on the line, that versatility like you're talking about is so key and can help a team so much, especially in the time of need. And just being that kind of that's smart, dude. To know the plays in your assignment, no matter where you're at, on the left or the right side, at the guard or at the tackle, like that's insane because you got to think like, there's so many plays, especially in this offense with the zones and whatnot, that you're pulling and whatever, yeeting, I don't know, sliding down the protections, or they're all different. And so the fact that he can play multiple positions and still know what his assignment is, that's insane. I even as a guy that played a skill position, I pretty much just had to remember my routes. But the blocking schemes and all that, I think Jesse Perry is going to be our ultimate utility guy, I think, on the offensive line. I would hope that he can kind of stabilize and be in one spot, but that would require our offensive line to stay healthy all year, and I just know college football, and that's going to be hard to do. I'm going to hope that it does, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, the one year that I can remember that we had a healthy offensive line the entire year, that was 2022, and that was the best season that we had.
And that was even with oh gosh, Cooper, right?
Yeah.
And he was battling injuries throughout, but he just kept pushing through. Like, he was just insane. Mays is a dog. But, yeah, I mean, they were definitely hurt, but you're right. I think they played almost every single snap, which was kind of crazy.
I believe that the starting O-line, I think the only guy that missed some time, that was Gerald Mincey's first year. And he was hurt on and off, so you had guys swapping out at right tackle. But, But yeah, I'm super excited about this room. And then, you mentioned the guys that look to be the backups this year. You could argue that any one of them could start as well. I mean, we've already talked about Gabriel Osenda. I think that he's going to be second string, true freshman, but I think that Arai Williams is going to get the start over him. But Gabriel Osenda's got the talent, the size. He could start right away if you wanted him to. You already mentioned Sham Umarov. He got to play a lot of minutes, a lot of snaps.
I thought he was a starter, so I can't believe he's projected as.
Yeah, the fact that he is projected to be a backup in his redshirt junior year. I mean, this is his fourth year in the system. He knows what to do, and he's got the ability. He's got the experience. So I've got no problem with him stepping in and guaranteeing that our line is going to stay at this level instead of falling down to this type level when he comes in there. You mentioned Gage Ginther got some time last year. He's been He's got 3 years in this system as well. He's a talented guy that's going to be on that second team. You've also got, we mentioned Nick Moore, his second year in the system. That's another very talented guy that's going to see quite a bit of playing time this year.
It's just a familiar name, man. And maybe I'm just not following but like the fact that we have this many familiar names on the offensive line, nobody talks about the offensive line. So it's the fact that like I was reading through these names and I'm just like, bro, these are like familiar. Like I know, like how in the world did we retain all this? Like that's unheard of.
Jeremiah's Hurd is another one.
Yes.
Who is this other freshman? I just looked at his name. Talented guy come in from Georgia, I believe it is.
It's either Kamari Blair or Ed Baker. Maybe.
Oh, it was Ed Baker's the one I'm thinking of. He came from St. Francis Academy. I don't know why I was thinking Georgia, but that's a very talented guy as well that could see some time on the field. I mean,
why are you thinking about Georgia? That's kind of weird. I'm gonna need you to, we're not playing them. We're not playing them this year. I'm gonna need you to.
I know it. I guess. Oh, I was looking at Donovan Haslam there, the transfer from West Virginia. He's originally from Georgia. That's what I was looking at. And that's another guy that, could step in a position and I feel like could stay up at
He started
the level
5 games at West Virginia. So he does have some starting he does have some starting experience in a Power 4 conference.
Yep.
Now, it's the ACC, but whatever.
Actually, that's Big 12.
Big 12. Yeah, I caught myself. Hold up. Virginia Tech is ACC.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets. I like when everything was regionalized.
I agree. Which even then, West Virginia was not.
West Virginia was always
they were
Big
Big East.
Yeah, Big East.
I missed the Big East to be honest, but that's a totally
Big East is still a
conversation.
thing in basketball, though, right?
It is, just not in football.
I mean, profitable sports, basketball is one of the most, right? Is that a thing? Yeah.
It's second behind football.
Well, I would say football used to be a lot more profitable until they had to spend $1 million on running backs. Anyways.
What are you alluding to there?
What? Nothing's final. Nothing's final.
I guess I misheard you. But
yeah, definitely. Nobody heard that. Nobody.
No, offensive line group. We've both mentioned it a bunch of times already. I'm just super excited to see this group this year, and I honestly hope that this is the most that we talk about the offensive line all year because you and I both know that if you're talking about the offensive line when the season rolls around, odds are that means the offensive line is not doing well, and there's issues there. Where if you're not talking about them, there's no issues. They're playing well. So I hope that this is the most that we talk about the offensive line all season long.
Now, here's where I will say I genuinely think Deshaun Bishop has a chance to break some records this year because of the offensive line. But it really is contingent on the quarterback making some good throws. Because, if you don't have both sides of the game going, it's going to be really hard to get the running game going, even if you have an A-plus offensive line. Now, I still think, especially with our running style, we're going to get 3 or 4 yards a play. That's almost guaranteed. But in order to break out those 20 to 30 to 40-yard runs that Deshaun Bishop's really good at doing, we're going to have to keep the defense respecting the pass game. So it does matter, whoever our starting quarterback is going to be, they don't really even have to be top half of the SEC in quarterback play, but can they still throw for 3,000 yards in the season? Can they still throw for 20 touchdowns and, 5 or less interceptions? Is the passing game respectable? And if it is, look out. Deshaun Bishop might be in New York at the end of the year. And that would be because of the offensive line. And, obviously Deshaun Bishop's great, but yeah. So what I'm hearing is our inexperienced quarterback will have some time. That's exactly what I was saying. No matter who we choose, and I know that they're going to be protected. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that's why we were able to get Fajon Brandon in the building. It's because Josh Heupel was able to tell him, we built a wall here. So even if you have to fight it out and duke it out with GMAC, if you win that, you're going to be well surrounded with weapons on top of an amazing offensive line. Our offense, the only question mark, I think we all know this, is the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that excites me because, like you said, Josh Heupel really doesn't miss with the quarterback play. Our best recruit was our worst quarterback.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right. So
Yeah. Now, one thing I will say, we're talking about all this experience. We're talking about all this talent. We're talking about how excited we are. If this offensive line group falls flat on their face this year and is not anywhere near what we thought they would be,
yeah,
we need to have a different conversation about Glenn Ellerby.
without a doubt. Because my original conversation about Ellerby is the fact that he couldn't recruit or keep his recruits or retain his. Like there was a stretch there where you could not start a recruit.
Could not see the field.
Yes, he was having to constantly transfer in guys and get them. So I am intrigued because now we're looking at what, 2 recruits, Jesse Perry and David Sanders.
Yeah, that are starting.
Those are tried and true. So I mean, we're improving. And both of those guys are probably 2 of your best guys. I mean, Window Mo, don't get me wrong, he's solid, but he transferred in. Same with what I think Oriah Williams is possibly going to be your starting right tackle, and he transferred in from LSU. And Sam Pendleton is, I think he also transferred in, right?
He transferred from Notre Dame, but
That's right.
You're looking at, we mentioned David Sanders and Jesse Perry on the starting side of things.
Correct.
Gabriel Osenda's
Sham
gonna get a lot of
Ugrov is going to play a lot, and he's been all through it.
Yeah, you've got Gage Ginther is also one. He's all through it. Nick Moore.
Jeremiah's Hurd.
Yep. Yeah, so all these guys that are going to be seeing the field.
So I do
this
feel like
year,
the recruits are seeing the field more often.
Yes.
So, but I think you're right. This is definitely a Ellerby prove it year. You've got all the hype, you've got all the experience, you've got all the talent. Really, let's go put it together. Let's go show off.
Yeah.
So anything
100%.
wrapping up in the offensive line room, man. I think we've pretty much touched on every single name in the room. Pretty excited about the overall potential that this room has.
Yes.
Not just for the running game, but for basically curating and protecting your brand new quarterback. I'm excited to see what it turns into.
No, I'm right there with you. And, you couldn't have asked for a better year to have, the most returning production from your offensive line than this year with, as we mentioned, inexperienced quarterback coming in. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think we're going to have a good year on the offensive line, but it's a long season. We'll see how injuries go. We see how the continuity goes, all that good stuff. But now, if you don't have anything else on the offensive line, we will move ahead to our second segment where we're going to give our South Carolina schedule predictions. But before we do that, I do want to let you know who our segment 2 sponsor is, and that is Kaizen Painting. Do you want a colorful life? Kaizen is a painting and drywall company that provides residential, commercial, exterior, and interior services. At Kaizen Painting, we understand the importance of a beautifully painted home and properly installed and repaired drywall. We're here to bring your vision to life. We care about providing you with a personalized, efficient, and quality service. If you live in Knoxville and surroundings, contact us for a free estimate at KaizenPainting.com. Color your life the Kaizen way. So let's swap over to this other screen here where we will talk about South Carolina. Shane Beamer's, is this his 5th year? 5th year at Carolina?
Don't care. He's been there too long.
Yeah, he has. This is going to be his last year at Carolina.
Is it his 5th year? Him and Drink were the same year, weren't they?
Was it him and Drink or was it him and Hype?
I think it's him and Drink.
Because I know Drink had 1 year over Heupel. And I can't remember if Beamer
I really think Beamer and Drink were hired at the same time.
You could be right, but
the cheaters. Yes, dude. That's what I'm talking about. We should bring out the orange helmets.
Listen. I'm not going to call South Carolina cheaters.
Oh, but we should.
They just took what Michigan gave them. Michigan's the real cheaters. They just took it.
I'm sorry, but if I buy the answers to the test, I'm still cheating.
Fair enough.
I'm just saying. It's fine. I understand what you're saying. And there's more allegations that came out on that, so that's kind of weird. No, all right, cool. So South Carolina, what do we think about the schedule real quick? I'm seeing right off the bat they've got Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, A&M, and Georgia, and Clemson. Clemson may be a tougher game, but like they have quite a bit of tough games here.
Yeah, I mean this.
I wouldn't say the hardest
right
schedule.
here. No, not the hardest, but I mean, this right here screams to me just absolute not able to succeed. That's what it screams at me, is that Shane Beamer is not going to be able to succeed this year, even though they have got, on paper, one of the best quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference in Lenore Sellers. But they also had him last year, and everything else around him just fell apart. He was all that they had last year.
Yeah.
So
I freaking love one of my picks on South Carolina. And I can go ahead and give it away because it's one that I've already done. But that Arkansas spot is scary. Holy trap game, dude. In between Texas A&M and Georgia, and you're on the road at Arkansas, get out of here. That's just nasty. What a trap game.
Let's expand it just a little bit. At Oklahoma first. Then
Tennessee,
you get Texas A&M at home.
Yeah.
Then you get Texas A&M at home, but then you follow that Arkansas game with Georgia, and then your rivalry game at Clemson. What a spot for that game!
But that's what South Carolina is going to look and be like, "Wow, Arkansas finally an easier game, an easier game." And I just don't know with that mentality if that's actually going to be an easier game. I know for a fact that coaching staff better not think that it's an easier game. It's year one for that coach, and every single game is going to be the hardest game. Like that's got to have, you got to be there. That's why the SEC is tough, man. But yeah, when I'm looking at, I'm like, yeah, I do have Arkansas beating South Carolina, and I'm kind of glad I do. That is Arkansas's best chance to pick up a win.
Yeah,
1,000%.
Yep.
If they want to win in the SEC, they better win that game. So, who would like to go first?
I'll go first this week. I know you went first on Arkansas last week. Starting off the season, they got two pretty easy games: Kent State and Towson, both at home.
You sure
both
about
of those will be wins for South Carolina, although it could be closer than what people might like some of those previous opponents have been for South Carolina in that spot. Mississippi State.
This is the biggest swing game for South Carolina, I think, in the season, like without a doubt.
You want to know a hot take that is kind of going to give away the rest of my prediction for South Carolina?
They lose Mississippi State, and then Beamer gets fired after this game.
Well, what I was going to say is this is their best chance for a win this season.
Oh,
this Mississippi State game. This is their biggest chance for an SEC win.
I'm going to disagree because I genuinely think it's Kentucky, but yeah, that's fine.
I'll give you my argument for that.
All right. Mississippi State's a tough team, though.
I am going to say that they beat Mississippi State because I think you have to win this game. If you're South Carolina, you have to win this game.
Okay.
So you start off the season 3-0, you're feeling good about yourself, and then you go to Tuscaloosa. And Alabama is just going to absolutely knock South Carolina around.
South Carolina historically plays Alabama pretty well.
They do. But
it's kind of like the Kentucky to Georgia game, which is weird to me, but like Kentucky always finds a way against Georgia to just be close. South Carolina is kind of that way with Alabama.
Yeah, I just feel like this season is going to be a blowout against Alabama. So I've got them losing there. Here's why I say Kentucky is not the best chance for a win there.
That bounce back?
Because of that bounce back game against...
And Kentucky is trash!
Yes, because of that bounce back game right there after Alabama. And then you're looking ahead to Florida the week after, who you're thinking, okay, that'd be a good chance to go on the road and get an SEC win. I think they overlook Kentucky in this spot here, which is what's going to cause them to lose this game.
That is not the direction I thought you were going there. All right, cool. Awesome. Okay, well, then they got to focus up for Florida, right? At Florida on the road?
Florida at Florida. I think that Carolina and Florida are going to be kind of in similar boats this year as far as how their season is going to go.
It's almost like we're picking them both tonight.
Yeah, I know. I wonder why that is.
It's almost like we think they're going to finish right there together.
Yeah, so Florida, I think Florida's got a much easier road before they play South Carolina than South Carolina does before facing Florida. But this to me is a toss-up. And I think it ultimately comes down to home field advantage in this case. So I'm giving the game to Florida. Tennessee coming off a bye week.
I don't like this for Tennessee. If you got 3 losses in a row, for some reason, I just get scared that they're going to figure it out.
It's scary. It's scary for Tennessee, especially after the last time that they went to Columbia and played them. I believe the only saving grace for Tennessee in this one, this is going to be an afternoon game. It's not a night game. So I think that's going to help.
Would Beamer be fired at this point?
I think he would be.
I mean, if you lost to Kentucky and Florida back-to-back, two teams that you're definitely perceived as better than right now, I don't see how he still has his job. This is a year that they're supposed to, like, make a push, right?
Here's what I will say. If they were to lose to Mississippi State in week 3, I think it's 100% bye week at this point in the season. He is gone. But if they do win that Mississippi State game, I think it's still questionable. But now let's see how the rest of the season goes according to me. Tennessee.
They do get the bye week before Tennessee, too.
They do. Tennessee's going to be a loss. At Oklahoma. I do think this could be a closer game. I'm still not high on Oklahoma with their offense, even though they are returning John Mateer, but it's going to be a loss. Texas A&M at home, I think Texas A&M is actually going to show up and play ball for 4 quarters in this game, unlike last year. A loss to Texas A&M. This is where we come up on Arkansas, and we already mentioned it earlier. The spot for this game right here for Arkansas could not be better for the Razorbacks. It's a terrible spot for South Carolina. And both of us last week had Arkansas winning this game.
That means you gotta
and
follow
I'm not,
it.
and I'm not gonna change
Beamer
it.
is
Arkansas
gone.
wins the game.
It is gone. He starts out 3-0 and finishes 3-9. Come on.
Yeah.
No,
and
I'm
then
joking.
Georgia
crazy.
and Clemson to finish off the season.
Yo, what a prediction, dude. No shot. You actually had them losing 9 straight. That's insane. But they still got the one SEC win, Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we should have done South Carolina first with Arkansas. That's crazy.
So 3-9 is going to be my prediction.
What's your best and worst case
this
scenario? Because I do feel like South Carolina is a slight wild card team as far as like the range of their best case and their worst case is one of the wider ranges in the SEC.
Worst case scenario for South Carolina, they don't win a game after Towson. They go 2-10 on the season. Wow. Best case for South Carolina, if Lenora Sellers returns to form from 2 seasons ago when they won 9 games, if he has the skill players around him, if he has a defense on the other side of the ball, I think South Carolina could have a good year. Like you said, this could be a wide range for the floor and the ceiling. I think guaranteed losses on this schedule for South Carolina is going to be at Alabama. I'm going to say Georgia at home, and then I'll also say Texas A&M at home are guaranteed losses. We've seen them play with Clemson regardless of how good both of the teams are. So, I mean, that's a rivalry game, so that's a toss-up. I'm going to say 9-3 is the ceiling for South Carolina. But once again, that's everything has to go right for South Carolina this year. So that's a very, very wide range for the floor and the ceiling. But I could see South Carolina being a good team. I'm just not predicting it.
Fair enough. What a prediction. 3-9, starting 3-0, and then finishing 0-9. Wow. I like it. I dig it.
I've got a feeling that we're not going to have the same predictions on that.
No. This one's going to be a little different, but that's okay. That's why we do it. Kent State, I will go ahead and say the first 2 are definitely dubs. They need to be. But I actually do have South Carolina losing the opening game of the season to Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State's a hard game to win. And, Mississippi State last year started 4-0.
Yeah.
And then took Tennessee in the 5th game of the year to start out 5-0. They took Tennessee to overtime and lost in a thriller.
And look, I like Mississippi State. I just feel like this is more of a spot thing for me, that if South Carolina's going to get a win, it's got to be in that spot.
I understand. So, but I'm going to, we're going to keep going because I do think they lose to Alabama right after that. And then they play Kentucky. I I do have them losing, believe it or not. I do have them losing to Kentucky. Per my previous video, I do think Kentucky is going to get the win over South Carolina, even at South Carolina. I do think South Carolina beats Florida. I'm not really so certain. I know Florida's got a lot of talent, but I'm just not so certain on who that talent is at the moment. And this will be mid-season. I think this is kind of one of those gotcha games. I'm kind of looking at it like a coin flip game. And you've talked about that. So give me South Carolina over Florida. But I think that's yes.
So let me ask you this. We've got the same record at this point in the season with losses to different teams, wins against different teams. Do you think, with your prediction here, Shane Beamer is fired at this point in the season? Or because he gets to win against Florida?
If he lost Mississippi State, Alabama, and Kentucky and started out 0-3 in the SEC, yeah. Yeah. So that's a good point. Does the team play harder for the interim coach against Florida? I don't know. Whatever. But for the sake of my preseason predictions, we're going to say yes. As long as we were at the first game after they fact. Yes.
But that's the hard part. So if they fire him during the bye week, well, guess what? The bye week is going to be before they play Tennessee.
And that's why it's very realistic that he could be fired that week. Like, my prediction could be wrong, and they end up losing to Florida, and then, boom, Beamer's fired, and then they come out and they get that upset win against Tennessee. I could see that. Josh Heupel's been known, just like Butch Jones has been known, to lose that game that you're just not supposed to lose. Yep. Could it be South Carolina? It is on the road. For the sake of my prediction and the fact that I'm a massive Tennessee fan, no. I don't want to even think about that, especially after what happened in the past. They're at Oklahoma. What? Oh, I did that wrong. Thank you. I was like, whoa. I looked at that thinking Tennessee's getting the dub, so I clicked the dub, and then I realized that this is South Carolina's prediction. Thank you. They're at Oklahoma. I think they lose that game too. And then they host A&M. But I don't see a world where they beat A&M unless A&M just isn't what they're supposed to be this year.
Yep.
And so I do have them losing to A&M. And then at Arkansas, again, that spot is just nasty. I don't think they're going to get it done. I've already said it in the Arkansas prediction that they don't. So, obviously, they're losing to Georgia. But then I do have an upset win to finish the year.
Wow.
To beat Clemson. And that's not even to be different from you. I just think South Carolina's kind of owned Clemson in a way. Now, I think they did lose to Clemson not too long ago.
They lost to them last year.
Yep. But the previous 2 or 3 years, they had beaten Clemson.
Yeah.
So unless Clemson's just out to be that team that we thought they were supposed to be last year, I think South Carolina somehow pulls it away in the rivalry game, and they end up finishing 4-8. I've got the worst case being 3-9. I still think they find a way to win 3 games regardless. And then my best case is, I'm gonna say 6-6. Is my best case. Yeah, I think they may get wins over Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Arkansas. So, I mean, I guess that would be 7. But if they get those wins, I'm not so sure they beat Clemson. And I know that sounds dumb, but I just don't think them. I don't know. I feel like if they've lost 5 in a row, they're going to try to. In my opinion, if I'm a player on the team, especially a senior, I don't want to end on 6 straight losses, especially to our rival. Yeah. So I'm going to give a little bit of extra, even though I should have been giving that the entire season. But I don't know. I think 6-6 really is the best case for South Carolina.
6-6. Wow. So I had a very wide range there, and I figure with the way that you were talking, that you might as well. But
I just don't see them being. I'm not a believer in Beamer. He's got some dogs.
I'm not either.
He's got one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best defensive players, defensive edges. He's got one of the best running back. Is it a running back or is it a wide receiver? He's got one of the best of 3 different positions in the SEC.
Yeah,
quarterback's kind of maybe top 5, top 7, but either way, Lenore Sellers should be a dog this year. But I just don't know if they're going to be able to put it all together. I really don't. So, not a big Beamer believer. I don't have that Beamer fever, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not turning my swag on, and I'm joking. I'm out of things to say. I really don't know. But I do think he gets fired.
Yeah, I also think
He's one of my
fired.
biggest hot seat coaches going into the year.
Oh yeah, 100%. So you got anything else on South Carolina before we move ahead to our final segment?
I had them beating. Who did I have them beating? I'm so sorry.
You had them beating. You had them winning the first two
Florida.
games against Florida and then Clemson.
No, I don't care about Clemson. So the only SEC win they got was Florida. Perfect. Awesome.
Correct.
Sweet. Let's get it.
All right,
Lock
we'll
in.
get into segment 3. Rhonda, I know you're still watching. Let me know if this video does not, if the audio does not work on this one. If it doesn't, then I will probably have to go back and re-download this after the stream and all that, just to see if it's going to work. But before we get into our segment 3, a word from our segment 3 sponsors.
At Bowie Heating and Air, we offer 24/7 HVAC services for all your residential, commercial, and new construction applications. Guys, when your home feels off and the comfort's not there, do yourself a favor and call Bowie's Heating and Air.
I can't confirm there was sound. I also had a tab opened. I don't know what happened last week though. That was kinda weird.
I don't know either, but
Rhonda did come through for us though, just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just turned it up on my tablet over here, and I was like, man, why did that not work last week? But no, it was loud and clear. Sounded great. That little jingle got me going, and so yeah, let's attack the last segment of the night.
So last segment, let's change this over from South Carolina to Florida.
I'll go first.
So, all right. Well, before we get into the predictions, what are your thoughts on Florida this year? I mean, obviously, new head coach John Summerall taking over for Billy Napier. What do you think about Florida this year?
Improved. Believe it or not, I think they have improved. But brother, the schedule is the schedule. I mean, it's a tough one. You got Ole Miss, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, and then you've got some 50-50 games. But you definitely, I mean, they've got some of the best mid teams on the schedule. That's what it's and I say mid, but like Auburn is kind of in the same boat as Florida. So that's a 50-50 game, right? Missouri, I would say, is probably better than Florida on paper. South Carolina, 50-50 game, right? Maybe?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, 50-50 game, right? Maybe?
Kentucky 50 game.
I like the 50-50 games for Florida is insane. Can they go 500 or better in those 50-50 games and then maybe scratch off an upset? I don't know, but I do think they're an improved team. The schedule is just the schedule. It is what it is. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be difficult. I do feel like as far as the top tier teams go for Florida, they don't play as many this year. I feel like the schedule's a little bit more manageable, but it's still difficult. But you mentioned some of these mid-tier teams that they played, they're kind of on the better side of things. I mean, I think Auburn's going to be much improved. I think Vanderbilt's still going to be pretty hard to play against this year. I would consider Oklahoma a little bit more on the top tier side of things, but still, that's a higher tier, mid team. And then, first year head coach John Summerall, who's to say that he's going to be able to turn it around? I've been on record saying that I think he's Billy Napier 2.0. Now, he could end up proving me wrong, but until he does, I'm going to continue to say that. I just don't think that he's going to be the guy. I feel like, Skylar, I'm going to give you props for this. You said this when we were talking about head coaches back earlier. I feel like Florida right now is in that, that Butch Jones teetering towards Jeremy Pruitt type position as far as the head coaches go with John Summerall. I feel like that this isn't the right hire. They're going to have to make at least one more hire to get the right guy at this point. I just feel like it's not going to work. They make
17 more hires.
I agree with
you. But I don't know. We'll see. But I'll go ahead and kick it off. I do think. Let me get the right tab here. A little. Let's see, layers. Oh yeah, there we go. I do think they do start out the year 2-0, which is great because in this day and age with the SEC being 9 games, you better win those non-conference games. I think at Auburn, that just is a sucky game for them to start out with. There's not a lot of great games you can start out with, but Auburn is going to be hungry, just as hungry as Florida is. And I, right now, trust that head coach more than I trust Florida's. I think we all know why. So give me Auburn for the win there. Ole Miss, man, this is a great chance to get a bounce back. You host Ole Miss. I would definitely put Ole Miss on upset alert in this game. I kid you not. We don't even know what Ole Miss is going to look like, but what I do know is that they got one of, if not the best quarterback in the SEC that's coming back for like an 8th year. And so no, wrong. I did it again. God darn it. I think they lose to Ole Miss too. At Missouri. I don't think it's a great start for the coach at Florida. South Carolina. No, I had that as a I don't think they beat South Carolina either. This is not going good. I really don't. At Texas, though. All right, hear me out. No, I don't. They did upset them last year. That's not going to happen again. I can promise you that. I don't care who the coach is. Georgia is interesting only because, and yes, I'm going to throw it in there and it shouldn't be, but there's not going to be a dollar spent on Florida upsetting Georgia on the betting apps. So hear me out. We know it's rigged. Does Florida pull the upset on Georgia?
Here's what I can guarantee. Florida's going to cover the spread.
That's a fact, dude. Florida's going to make this a close game. A part of me wants to just give them the win just to give them a win, man. And I think it'd be good for the rivalry if they just came out of nowhere and beat them. And it absolutely mean nothing to Florida because they still wouldn't even make a bowl game. So it'd be like that ultimate slap in the face for Georgia because it could cost them to host a playoff game or whatever. But I'm gonna put a loss there. I'm gonna try to be a smart gentleman. Oklahoma, they do host Oklahoma. I'm not sure if Oklahoma is going to be good from a healthy standpoint. Mm-hmm. John Mateer has been known to battle some injuries with the hand, whatever, what have you. Will he be healthy at this point in the season in November? I don't know. I am actually going to have Florida upsetting, and this is my first big upset in the predictions other than, I guess, Clemson, South Carolina. But I'm going to have Florida beating Oklahoma at home. I think it's a good spot for Florida. I don't know about Oklahoma. We'll get to their schedule in a little bit. But at Kentucky, I've given Kentucky the win, I believe, already over this one. So I have to honor that and give an L there. And then they host Vanderbilt. And I think this is where Florida kind of finds their groove. I think they kind of find their groove. I think they beat Vanderbilt, and they actually beat Florida State to finish the year 5-7 in a year where it kind of gives off a lot of hype for the Florida fans because of the way they finished the season. They would still have that nasty Kentucky loss in their mouth, but overall they can say in the final month they went 3-1, and maybe they did miss out on a bowl game, but maybe they get a bid. And they can go win another game and try to get to that 6th win. I don't know. But I've got the Florida Gators going 5-7 this year. And like I said, improved, which it is technically by like one game. But then again, improved by one game when you got non-SEC games, in my opinion, is dramatically improved. It almost is like a 2 to 3 game swing, in my opinion. But now they always have had a non-conference schedule with Florida State, so it doesn't change a whole lot. I know they had to play Miami last year, so or not Miami. They played Golish's team.
Well, they played USF and they played Miami last
year. They did play both of them. Okay, right on. Yeah, because they played like all the Florida teams last year. I felt like.
Yeah, they're the only
except
game,
UCF, I think.
Yeah, they didn't play UCF, but they played Long Island, and that was their one like cupcake game, and then it was. Yep. USF, then they had Miami, then they always have Florida State at the end of the year, and then all the SEC games. So.
There you go. So my worst case for Florida, I kid you not, is 3-9. I think they still win Florida Atlantic. I still think they beat Campbell, and then I think they scratch one somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Florida State. Not sure what they're going to look like this year, but if not Florida State, I think they eke out an SEC win somewhere to get to 3-9 as their worst case. And then their best case, maybe they beat Kentucky, South Carolina. Their best case could be 7-5. Yeah, I'm gonna say their best case is 7-5 this year. And what an improvement that would be in a 9-game SEC schedule for Florida first-year head coach. Wins over Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and the SEC.
So let me ask you something. I've been kind of on the train the last several years that Mike Norvell should be gone from Florida State, but somehow he keeps working out a way to stay there. If he loses to Florida again, do you think he's out?
I don't know. Florida State's going to confuse me with that whole deal. But yeah, I mean, I would think if he doesn't push for the ACC championship, I think he's out.
I
mean,
agree.
Florida State's not going to settle for less, right? So if he's not even close, I mean, I think he only got this last year because literally the year before he was perfect and a tragedy happened and whatever. But like this year, well, I guess the year before that, but like this year he beat Alabama to start the season, so I think that bought him another year. And obviously that fell flat on its face right after. So I don't know, man. That Florida State one's weird. I think he's going to do just enough to keep his job, to be honest with you. Just enough.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I mean, Florida State they've got a pretty crooked line. But let me just show you. This is that straight line right here. Straight line. The Florida State fans think it's this no straight line. Those that don't understand what I'm talking about, go back to the College World Series 2024.
No, I got you, man. I'm sitting here, Rhonda out here speaking facts. So,
yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, what you got the Florida Gators going this year?
All right, so Florida. I do have them starting off with a win over Florida Atlantic in a close game. I think this is going to be a lot closer than what they feel comfortable with. I think Florida Atlantic's going to be a decent team in the American this year. But Florida does get a win. Then they beat Campbell in week 2, start off the season 2-0. And I'm going to be like you in this one here. Obviously 2 new head coaches, John Sumrall and Alex Golesh, facing off against each other. And
I like Golesh's quarterback too. I think he's very underrated.
I do as well. And I feel a lot more comfortable with what Golesh has got coming in than I do with what John Sumrall does. So I've got a loss there.
Is DJ Lagway still at Florida?
No,
I know they were able to keep the running back, which that running back for Florida is dangerous.
Lagway is gone. I forget where he went to.
Why is that not a storyline? Like, where did he go?
He didn't get picked up until late. People just did not take him.
Well, to be honest with you, he wasn't that good.
It says he's still in the NCAA transfer portal. I thought he got
Dude's not even picked up.
He got picked up by somebody.
Hey, that is the unfortunate side of the transfer portal, is sometimes you can just get left floating, and that is the worst feeling in the world as an athlete. So
I see another story now saying he transferred to Baylor.
Oh, that makes sense. I think that's right. I think I actually heard that from the EA show, that he's at Baylor.
Let's see.
I think that's right.
Yes, he's at Baylor. He's at Baylor now. But yeah, he didn't get picked up until late at Baylor. So he spent a lot of time in the transfer portal before he went there.
Yeah, he's too big of a name, even if he's not that great. He's too big of a name to be stuck out in the portal.
Yeah,
he did, Rhonda. You're right. He definitely went to a different conference. Baylor's Big 12, right? Maybe.
Yep, Big 12.
Yep. So he's in the Big 12 now. That's okay. All right, continue. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. It's where me and you are in the same boat again. I feel like this is a huge, huge upset spot for Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
and because if there's another coach besides John Sumrall that I'm not confident in, that is Pete Golding at Ole Miss.
But I think he's got the dudes. I think he's got the dudes to carry. That's the problem.
That's the thing. Like, he's got the dudes.
He's still got Kiffin's guys.
He's still got Trinidad Chambliss there.
That's a fact.
You know what? Florida gets an victory in this game.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
so coach is getting fired from Ole Miss immediately.
One can only hope.
You can't.
No,
I don't really hate Ole Miss though, man. They're always I don't know. I kind of view Ole Miss and Tennessee like equivalent in a way, I guess. The fans expect natties, but we just don't get them that often. So
yeah. And looking at the schedule for Ole Miss, they start off the season with a neutral site game against Louisville in Nashville. Then they play Charlotte. Then they play LSU in week 3, that game being at home. I could see
Wow, that's week 3.
This is such an upset spot for
what an emotional yeah, dude. Because if they lose that game, that's going to be like their season
on the road. After that game, man, I feel even better about this now.
That could be a very underrated pick right there. That's a solid one. Good job.
I am on board.
Way to do
with
your
this
research.
one for Ole Miss.
You're talking to a guy that just waits to see the schedule when you put it on the screen. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I can see this happening.
So
they are not
Missouri,
losing to Auburn, says your soothing sound.
I think they are 100%.
I mean,
especially with it being on the
but
road.
I said when I did mine, that's a 50-50 game.
It's a toss-up. It is.
We don't know. It's 2 first-year head coaches. They both have great, talented players. I just think that Auburn's got a better coach.
And I feel like home field advantage will play a part in that game as well. And if in that case, advantage Auburn.
And this could be I don't know, I haven't seen the time slots, but this could be a night game for these 2 teams because when else are they going to get a night game?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
All right,
but we appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah, at Missouri, I do think Missouri is a better team in this spot. They also will have home field advantage in this game. That's going to be a loss there.
Agreed.
South Carolina, I do think that Florida gets a win in this one. I do think that's going to be another 50-50 game. And I feel like this one, because they have the home field advantage, they would get the win there. At Texas, I feel like it could be a closer game than what some people might think it would be. But Texas is still going to get the win in this one. Then you have the bye week before playing Georgia. That game is going to be in Atlanta this season. Georgia is going to win. Florida's going to cover the spread. 100%. They absolutely
bet the house on it
do.
right now.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Oklahoma at home. This is a spot. Let me look at Oklahoma's real quick.
I did it. Don't do it. Don't take the bait.
No, I'm gonna give Oklahoma the win in this one.
As you should. John Mateer is not gonna lose to Florida. There's no shot.
That and listen to Oklahoma's schedule before they get to Florida. So the 3 games prior, they play Kentucky at home, Mississippi State on the road, South Carolina at home before they travel to Gainesville. It's a very manageable schedule there before they play against Florida.
Most definitely.
I think especially when you see what Florida had before playing against Oklahoma with Texas. Yes, they had a bye week, but then Georgia. I think that's a good spot for Oklahoma to get a win. At Kentucky, in my prediction for Kentucky last week, I had a win over Florida. I'm not going to change it here. Florida drops the game to Kentucky. Vanderbilt. This Vanderbilt game, I feel like, could be the difference.
No Eli Stowers, no Diego Pavia, but they do have the 5-star true freshman.
You know what? I haven't done this before, but I'm going to skip ahead. I do think that they beat Florida State. So right here.
Oh, we agree on that. Let's go.
Right here. So I've got 5 wins for Florida right here. This Vanderbilt game is going to be for bowl eligibility based on my prediction. And we don't know what Vanderbilt's going to look like. They've got the 5-star freshman Jared Curtis at quarterback. They've still got a talented running back, one of the top running backs in the conference. We've already talked about the offensive line got decimated for Vanderbilt. I think that Clark Lee is a better coach than John Sumrall, though. And I think Jared Curtis, I think that he's going to be finally hitting his stride.
Hey, I hear you on that one. I hope not, because I know he plays the week after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I hear you. So we both have Florida going 5-7.
Yeah, I'm going to give the loss to Vanderbilt.
Just a different way. I had them beating Oklahoma. You have them beating South Carolina. I had them beating Vanderbilt as well, but you have them beating Ole Miss. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, 5-7. That's going to be my prediction for this season. The floor for Florida.
1-0. No, I'm joking. 1 and
no, they beat Florida Atlantic. They beat Campbell. I feel like they win one game somewhere on this schedule besides those 2.
Me and Rhonda agree. Get wrecked. Let's go.
So
I never get people to agree with me. Appreciate you, Rhonda.
I think 3-9 is their absolute floor this season, so we agree on that one.
Yep.
The ceiling for this team?
You probably got them 1 game higher, though. You be doing some wide ceilings. You be going crazy. You'd be like, yeah, the floor for this team's 2-10, and the ceiling's 10-2.
No, I think for this one, I'm gonna agree with you as well as far as the ceiling goes. 7-5 is the highest they can go.
I was just messing with you, bro.
No, but in fairness, I've done that for several teams.
I love like some talk shows will make fun of it. And they'll be like, well, worst case is 0-12, and best case is 12-0. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to work, brother. Like, come on.
Exactly. But no, I think I've got them going 5-7. I think they could win 2 more games here. Now, the games that they could win, they could beat any one of Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Oklahoma, or Auburn. But I don't think that they can beat all of them and beat the teams that I've got on here. I think that they can win 2 out of 4 of those games to give them 7 wins. I would even say they could possibly beat Missouri. But once again, they're not going to win all of those games. They're probably going to win only 2 of those at the absolute best case. I could make an argument for 8-4, but I think 7-5 is most likely for the ceiling this season. But Florida 5-7, just barely missing out on a bowl game, and I feel like that's a win in year 1 for John Sumrall. Going 5-7, barely missing out on that,
especially if you got 2 SEC wins and one in like absolute upset fashion. Yes, I agree.
Yes,
and then you beat your rival.
And like you said as well, it could be one of those situations where if there is an SEC team that is 6-6 or something like that, but opts out of the bowl game, maybe Florida works their way in there.
That's right.
I mean, you never know. But
I brought up the comment by Soothing Sound because I feel like he's close to hitting the mark, but what's going to happen is Cam Ward's going to get hurt. Will Levis is going to get sick on his coffee with mayonnaise, and then Hendon Hooker is going
to take over and lead them to the playoffs.
Dude, the Titans are going all the way with Hendon Hooker, bro. Like, let's lock in and understand that's what's going to happen. Matt, what's up, dude? I thought we were going to go the whole show and not see you, bro. He said, howdy, y'all. Go Vols. Appreciate you being here, man. We just did our preseason predictions for Kentucky. No, Florida and South Carolina. Florida and South Carolina. Kentucky's on my mind because we both had them beating Florida. So, which is probably their only win of the year.
So next week,
I think
next week we've got one of the teams. We already mentioned Mississippi State.
Oh, and South Carolina, of course. Whatever.
Who's going to be the second team?
Mississippi State, and I think it's fair to say that I don't know how the schedule lines up. I don't know.
I'm thinking we go maybe Auburn. Another new head coach.
Yeah, I think you're right. Auburn. We did. Arkansas was the first. Kentucky, South Carolina, Florida. Yeah, Auburn's gonna have to fit in there somewhere. Yep. Vanderbilt.
Yeah, so next week, that's Vanderbilt's probably coming up.
Vanderbilt's not gonna be top half of the SEC this year. No shot.
It'll be middle of the pack.
I think middle to lower half of the pack. Yes.
Could be. Yeah. So Mississippi State and Auburn
Who's on the
next
team?
week.
Yes. No. I knew that Hendon Hooker was on the team. Come on now, lock in. We know this. Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm actually rooting for the Tennessee Titans again. They were just 3 years behind. They should have freaking drafted him before Will Levis. That kind of pissed me off, but it's fine. It's whatever.
So Mississippi State and Auburn next week. Schedule predictions. We also next week have got a special guest joining us in segment 1. We have got Joey Peterson joining us next week.
Oh, let's go, Joey.
So Joey Peterson, let me pull up the X real quick. I cannot remember off the top of my head the name of his podcast, but he is the host of a Tennessee podcast. He also has 1 or 2 other podcasts that he does as well for a couple of other teams. So
while you're looking that up, I didn't realize Tennessee football 2 for second. I didn't realize you didn't know Hendon Hooker was on the team. Yes, Hooker is on the Titans team. It's if you've looked at some of the OTAs that they do, they've got videos of Cam Ward, Will Levis, and Hendon Hooker all throwing into a net. So yes, he is definitely on the team, and I'm pretty sure he's making the roster. I think he will be the 3rd string quarterback for the Titans. I don't foresee anybody being, I don't know, maybe they have an experienced guy that's like been in the NFL for 8 years that may, I don't know, but I think Hendon Hooker's the solidified number 3 guy, which he should be the number 2 guy, but he should be the number 1 guy, but it's whatever, I'm sorry. All right. I digress. Go ahead. Joe.
Yeah. But Joey Peterson, so he's the host of Tennessee Football Talk on YouTube. It's got 13,000 subs on there. He also hosts the Ravens Rundown and the Packers Report, both of those being upwards of 30 and nearly 50,000 subs a piece on those two channels. So
he knows a thing or two.
Yeah, he's a UT Knoxville alum, but he's real big on Tennessee football. Me and him talk back and forth for a little bit, so he will be joining us next week. Gonna kind of give general thoughts on what we think Tennessee football is going to do this year. It's going to be the day before the DGG announcement for his destination, so we'll kind of talk about that as well. Basically, just give overall thoughts. Kind of just talk Tennessee football next week, like we love to do. So cannot wait to have
days.
Yeah, talk about media days a little bit as well. Cannot wait to have Joey on next week. He's excited as well. So going to be a packed show next week as well when it comes to content.
We appreciate y'all being here. If you haven't done so already, I'm pretty sure everybody watching has done so because y'all are always here. But if maybe you're catching this at a later time or maybe a recording, podcast, whatever, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe to the channel, however you listen to us. We greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel a million. And we don't like spam you with subscribe like emails or anything like that. So don't worry about that. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just helps us, man. We want to grow. We want to continue talking ball with the people that love to talk ball, especially with the Vols, man. I mean, we obviously try to expand and talk SEC talk when football season comes around. But at the center of all centers, it's still about the Vols, baby. Like we're here. We are drinking the Kool-Aid, don't get me wrong, but we do try to be realistic about it. But we appreciate you guys being here, making the content worth it. And if it weren't for you guys, we wouldn't really love doing this. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Absolutely. Skylar just hit on everything. So you got anything else before we close out this show tonight?
Have a great week. Y'all be good.
Go Big Orange.